Hello. My topic for today is the might of measurement. Why you must have a measure for your brand, internal sentiment, external sentiment, changes in perception, and so on. Measurements may vary from a B2B and B2C communications. The communication process itself is different and might hugely vary depending on what industry you represent and depending on your target audience and so on. Today, I am only looking at the macro trends that are applicable for all of these categories that I just mentioned. I strongly believe that if you cannot measure something, you simply cannot improve it. And it's not just that. If you do not provide a measure, then how do you demonstrate the value of your function or your department to the organization? In that sense, according to me, a key task for any communications professional is also to demonstrate this impact to your stakeholders. And for that, you definitely need this data. And this is not just for our department. This is applicable to any department or function in an organization. Now to come back to our topic, regardless of the size of the organization, it is really impossible to know the real picture of the impact of communications and what needs to change unless we have a proper plan to measure it. And I feel that many organizations still tend to focus more on the quantitative metrics of measurement. That might not really give right information on impact or ROI of a communication campaign, for example. According to me, qualitative metrics is what is extremely critical in today's connected world. I can give an example. In PR and media relations, we are used to the AVE metric, right? The advertising value equivalent. I know that a lot of companies still use this as a metric, but according to me, the AVE often misses the finer nuances of the actual impact a program has on various stakeholders. Okay, so then this leads us to the question. So, what do you consider to measure impact? If you're looking at qualitative measurement, the qualitative measurement always takes into account all aspects of communication beyond just the size of coverage or the number of coverage, etc. I'll continue with the same media relations example. Let's say I have 100 media stories or coverage this year. So uh, that becomes meaningful only if I can infer something out of it, out of this 100 number. If I can infer something that helps the brand that I represent, right? And so that would mean that breaking this down, this 100 into something further, yeah. When I say measure it at the end of the year, so this qualitative measurement might sound all abstract, but it really is not. So I can give a few examples of what I would look for when I do this qualitative measure. Okay, so one such would be what is the share of voice of your company? One. A second one would be how often do your spokespeople get mentioned in relevant media stories? Three, are they regarded as thought leaders in your respective domain? Then four would be the stories about the company that you have. Are they in line with the messaging that the company wants to establish? Then a fifth one would be did all of your key messages, the original key messages that you wanted to be covered, did it all get covered? And you can even do a sixth one, possibly, some measure around your key competitors. So all of this would actually give you a clear picture of how your brand is performing. Where does your brand stand? It could be on its own or vis-a-vis the others, your competitors. Actually, a good starting point would also be to benchmark with your peers, and this is a good exercise. I would say that you must formulate or tailor make metrics and measurement tools that make sense for your organization. Because for some of you, it might mean, you're looking at different things, right? For some of you, you're looking at direct business, yeah? A customer comes, buys, might be what you're looking at. For some, you're looking at MQL or SQL. For some of you, it would be the talent market, talent acquisition. For some, it could be simple, straightforward brand awareness. Say an e-commerce company, for example, sees it very, very differently from somebody like Continental, an automotive technology and components company, right? Uh, so that's about external communication, and actually, external communication often gets covered in some form of metrics, but many organizations still overlook measurement of internal communications. Although in theory, everybody agrees that it's critical to have a very strong internal communication system in place for overall, success and employee morale and all that. And unfortunately, measurements still hover around number of events or number of employees, number of attendees, etc. But if you are able to establish better metrics, better measures, you actually improve the efficiency of communication and engagement. Of course, I do not think that one size fits all is the right approach. The kind of measurements that work for you might not work for me, right? So that was about the qualitative measurements that I wanted to share. And for the future, I believe that it is really not enough that even qualitative measure would be sufficient. I do not think that even qualitative measure would be sufficient. uh, it's a connected world out there, and all these social communities and 24/7 connect, and people are talking about your brand on a real-time basis. So a lot of these tools have started becoming obsolete or might become obsolete. With the help of social listening tools, for example, you can do sentiment analysis, check their behavior on various platforms, or monitor conversations, take part in conversations yourself, and so on. And personally, I also do not believe that you have to chase after every other off the shelf measurement tools and so on, or numbers that are irrelevant to you. Sometimes these may not even be all that accurate. Uh, I probably do not want to know the number of views on a certain topic. What I probably want to know is if there is a larger value that this brings to the business or to the brand, right? And then there is also the opportunity cost of doing something wrong, or you're wide off the mark with a metric, right? So, in summary, I would say that you must see measurement as a first step towards establishing long-term communication goals aligned with your company strategy. And this helps you to know where you stand, and it also helps you decide where you want to go. This can create real impact, and it can help you build credibility for yourself as a communication leader and for your department. So I would say choose wisely, cost effectively, focus on what is most important for you, and and always look inward first. Ask all the right questions to yourself and to your stakeholders. That would actually help you started with measurements, because measurement really is important for a communications role. Good luck to you, and thanks.